Hey, what's going on, everybody? Spotlights here with Weekly Wrestling Heat. We are back with another episode on Thursday episode. There's me and my boy Moyes. We are here with another week of wrestling, and let's get into it. Let's get into this week's news.
All right, so NXT had a slew of releases. The most notable names: Vanessa Bourne, Alexander Wolf, who just wrestled, referee Drake Wirtz, who is a head case. He had a lot of heat within the company before he got released, anyways. And as of today, Velveteen Dream, who I have a bet in our group chat that this guy will be back on TV by 2023.
I don't know. If he's getting the same treatment that Joey Ryan is getting, I don't think
he's going to get the Joey. I think he's going to get the same treatment Marty Scurll got.
Marty Scurll still isn't seen on TV. Look what happened. He tried to show up to Ring of Honor tapings Ring of Honor tapings, and that stuff got canned right quick. So
I think he'll be back on TV. I also wanted Don Callis is no longer an Impact executive.
Interesting. I didn't know about that one. I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah, so this came out. He's no longer an Impact executive. Callis officially finished up last month, and they remain on good terms. It was not a dramatic exit, and he will still appear as the manager for the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega. He worked the last tapings, so it seems like they're on pretty good terms. And Scott D'Amore is going to be the guy leading the charge now. We have a new. I think what?
Do we think that Don Callis is going to be part of the new join AEW's production squad? Do you think that?
I think he'll get I think he's going to get a Paul Heyman like contract, like where he'll be in some creative stuff and he'll get to do the managerial stuff he wants to. Other news, we got a new United States champion, which we'll talk about when we dive into NXT. And
United States or North American?
North America is the U.S. technically, so yeah, like North American.
North America is Mexico and Canada too.
Yes,
so
I know. Yes, I took a history class. Yes, new North American champion who is not from North America. We'll talk about that when we dive into NXT. I think that's pretty much all the news. The whole Double or Nothing card got announced yesterday too, so we'll dive into that when we dive into AEW.
That's pretty much it. I think there's nothing else in the news. I had something on the top of my mind that I saw.
Eddie Edwards just had surgery too for an appendix, so they're saying that magical timeline of 4 to 6 months, you know?
Aha! I forgot about that. Speaking about injuries, IWGP World Heavyweight champion Will Ospreay got injured as well, neck injury. So he is vacating the title, and they will come up with a new, tournament or match to find the new IWGP World Heavyweight champion. Which is sad because Ospreay actually has had a good run with the title so far, and he's done a pretty good job in my opinion. So it sucks to see that happening. Best wishes to Will Ospreay. Hope he recovers soon. Quick, speedy recovery so he could come back and continue to do stuff. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I think
Coda's gonna win the title.
It's either Coda or it's going to be Jay White.
Yeah, one of them's gonna win the title, and throw Kenny in there because who knows what's gonna happen.
All right, let's get into. What do you want to get into? Do you want to get AEW
let's do NXT first because we got 2 weeks of AEW. Let's do NXT
we already covered
because AEW will go through the the card at the end of it. But AEW also is preempted the next 2 weeks, so I didn't want to mention that. We didn't put that in the news.
Yeah, because they are going to Friday slots. Because of the NBA playoffs.
That's what I meant by they're preempted. Yes.
All right, so
Uh,
let's just hit what we liked on each one.
Pause.
Or let's
Pause. Big ass news that we skipped over. AEW is moving to TBS in August, and they got a new show on Friday nights called
Rampage.
Rampage. Yeah, well, I can't.
Yes,
We
yes,
just
yes.
started with that, but
I know it's like if it wasn't breaking news yesterday. I think it's because we talked about it yesterday on our chat, so I think it just like it
and
didn't
then
make it didn't.
the whole Velveteen stuff dropped today, so that was the first thing on my mind. Yeah,
So, no, let's talk about that a little bit. So they are moving networks to TBS from TNT, which is pretty good in my opinion. TBS does reach a couple of more homes. Let's hope that that comes with more viewership. And let's see what happens.
it
I
came with
am interested to
it
see.
came with more money. It came with more money from what I'm reading.
But here's the question: is it too much wrestling? They already have Dark Elevation, AEW Dynamite, and now they're adding AEW Rampage. Is it too much wrestling to add to already stacked week of wrestling? Because you got Raw, NXT, AEW, and in between those you have NWA Power, you have Ring of Honor, you have MLW, you have Impact, you have Dark and Elevation. Then you have and then you go with SmackDown. Then you have, of course, Dynamite, and now you're adding another hour of wrestling. Is it too
I
much wrestling?
I think if it's another major show, like if it's going to be a secondary show to like a SmackDown, then I think it's fine because then you got Raw, SmackDown, AEW, and you got Rampage. Rampage only gonna be 1 hour, so I don't know if they're gonna go the whole WCW Thunder route with it or what they're gonna do.
Or do you think they're going to do that, use that hour to actually for further storylines? Because that could be another thing that they probably are doing.
I would like, I would like for it to be three promo, and then yeah, I would like for it to be like 3 10 to 12 minute matches, a nice like 5 to 7 minute promo, and then you got commercials that fills out the hour. So Elias has disappeared, so I'm gonna take this solo.
I'm
Um,
here. All
okay,
right. So
yeah,
yeah, no, I agree. I think that's one of those particular cases that it can be done. If I here's the thing. While I understand why they're doing it, why I also understand why they have Elevation and Dark to spotlight new talents, to give the guys that are in contract a chance to get some ring time, to get the ring dust off, so they just won't perform one time a week. I feel like people crapped on WWE for having uh, NXT, SmackDown, Raw main event, and 205 Live and
they
NXT
crapped
UK.
on it, but they crapped because WWE had every day of the week. Like this is a new company. I don't care if they have every day of the week
Why does it matter? Why should it matter if WWE has content every day of the week?
because we like competition. Vince needs
Huh?
competition. Have you watched Raw?
Have you watched some of the episodes of Dynamite?
I
Come
have, but
on,
I would watch 8 hours of Dynamite over the 3 hours of Raw.
I agree with you. With the exception of this Monday's Raw was more enjoyable. And even you gotta admit it. This Monday's Raw was more
No,
enjoyable than
I
any
said
of the
that
past
last.
years.
I said that when we were on Tuesday. But here's what I'm asking you: if I told you gotta watch the last 4 weeks of AEW again, or you gotta watch the last 4 weeks of Raw again, you're watching the last 4 weeks of AEW again.
Yeah, no, I agree because certain things on Raw makes you go to sleep. That's and like I said, that's the right now WWE is in an awkward position because they're trying, I guess, and this is just me speculating. They're trying to hold like we speculated together. This is a WWE holding back till the crowds come back to bring back surprises, to bring back certain things that are gonna make the crowd come back.
But Raw is still
So
3 hours at that point.
and at that point, I wish they would do more matches. I wish they would tone it down on the storylines and try to tell a fast storyline while still building it. AEW shows the perfect balance of everything that they're doing. NXT does too. SmackDown does it with 2 hours. So the extra hour, they could add more matches. They could use that to spotlight talent that they don't use normally, like Ricochet and Ali. I'm not gonna stop talking about them. I like them. Anyways, all right. TNT. I mean, AEW going to TBS, great thing. I think it's going to be a great thing for them, and I think that it's going to be a positive thing. Let's hope.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I do too. I hope Rampage gets decent numbers. Um, I'm glad they didn't try making it compete with SmackDown right away because that would not have been a battle they wanted.
well, no, because
Because
SmackDown is on Fox,
it
and
is on
Fox
local
has a
TV.
different
That's
viewership.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's not something. But if all the AEW marks are gonna talk about how much better the ratings are for AEW than NXT, then all the Raw and SmackDown marks are gonna be like, oh well, SmackDown gets better ratings than Rampage. You know how these marks are. So let's go. That's why we stay away from the ratings typically.
Yeah, I don't give I don't care about that.
Yeah, I don't.
Anyways, all right.
I want
So
everyone to have steady to upward viewership.
all right, let's go. Let's talk about Prime Target, Karrion Kross versus Finn Balor.
Okay.
We're diving straight into NXT. We're gonna just jump around. Instead of
We're
going
not
through
going. I was like, I don't think that was the opening match.
No, it wasn't.
Um,
It wasn't. We're gonna pick around and just go jump around the segments that I thought caught attention more.
no,
Prime Target.
I thought it was very badass. My favorite part was Cross saying "roll the footage." I was like, oh, that's cool. I thought it gave it that big fight feel. I heard a couple of podcasts saying they want WWE to kind of step back on these prime targets, and I'm kind of getting there too. I want to see some more. I don't get rid of it completely. I want to see more Beth Phoenix and like how Pete Dunne and Io had a couple weeks ago. So I want
Yeah.
to see some more of that. You can back off the prime target a little bit, hold it off for your big 4 pay-per-view matches. That you're gonna
Hold
have.
it off. Hold it off for matches that are going to be worth the prime target. Like I agree. Put those on the big 4 pay-per-views that you do. I wish that that the main roster, the SmackDown and Raw, would pick up on those, which they are because of the Roman versus Cesaro thing. But I thought on this prime target, I thought Paul Heyman and Pat McAfee did a great job at building this match up, and that other guy that was there too. They made it. They made this feel, especially with Paul Heyman saying that the tribal chief was watching this match. He had an interest in this match.
Yeah.
So
I definitely think that added to it as well because you got the big names. Did they have any wrestlers on here? I can't remember. No, right? I think it would have been
no,
cool if you pulled like a Randy Orton in for a segment or two, or Matt Riddle, or pulled both of them together. I think it would have been funny. Um,
or pull somebody that has faced them, like or Balor. Like Balor has a
yeah,
lot of more opponents than
like
Karrion
a
Kross does.
Pete Dunne, it would have been cool. Yeah, like if you pulled in a Pete Dunne for it. Um, but yeah, no, I agree. The prime target was very good. Since let's stay with the backstage interview types. Pete Dunne's interview, I thought it was a very solid interview. I liked how Pete Dunne talked about like he didn't give away that he was a heel. Technically, he
No, but
talked.
it made you like him more. Like it
Yeah,
kind
because
of
he
gave
talked
you
about how
like
the fans gave that adrenaline to him, right? He's like the fans know when I'm working an arm, and I like that. I like how he said everything in NXT is open for me. I've beaten Kushida. I can go after his title. If Gargano wins tonight, I can go after him. I've already beaten him. Bronson Reed would be fun. Like he basically left the whole book open, and it got answered later, which is the next segment I want to talk about after you give your thoughts on this.
I thought that it made him look more like a solid superstar. It made him look well. He played off real that baby face a little bit, but still I'm gonna beat your ass heel kind of thing. So it was a perfect mix of it, and it's like he could either turn on Oni Lorcan and what's his name on
Well,
his
Danny
part
Burke
on
isn't
his
there.
okay. He could go solo. He could treat him up with Oni Lorcan. He could turn on Oni Lorcan. He could just do what he wants, and it just like you said, it leaves the door open to whatever he wants to do. Yes, jump into that. The cage match between
Wait,
Cage.
no.
Oh
We'll
wait,
hold off on the cage match because
uh huh.
I think this was a very good NXT. So I want to hold off on the cage match till the end because I feel like we're gonna have most of our thoughts on it. I really like
Okay,
the Bobby Fish promo calling out Pete Dunne because Bobby Fish never got that much mic time. So I thought it was a
yeah,
very well done promo. And the only thing that upsets me is I wish he would have called out Oni Lorcan because I think a win before facing Pete Dunne would have been better. Because now I think he's just going to lose to Pete Dunne next week. It's going to be a great match, but
yeah.
I think he's going to lose to Pete Dunne. Um,
Or
well,
or 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 Oni Larkin can interfere, and then you have Kyle O'Reilly being back to save.
yeah, and we want to do our own thing, but I don't know. That's what they said, but we'll see where that goes. And
Yeah,
then one thing I want to talk about before we get to the cage match, I think this will be actually there's a couple of this was a very stacked NXT. The tag team match was fire.
the Legado Fantasma versus Champa and Thatcher, right?
Yes, so
Yes,
good.
yes, 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 yes. Yes, so I'm glad they're finally using Joaquin and Raul Mendoza because those are two talented guys. And Thatcher and what you call it and Champa have great chemistry too. Has opponents, has tag team partners, and they're on the same level headed thinking. So the psychology in this match, the in ring action, the high flying from Raul and Joaquin make this match just very good. One thing that I liked about it was that Thatcher and Champa were dominant, but there was points in the match where you saw that Mendoza and Wild were straight dogs and just going at it with them. So they went tit for tat, and it was just one of those matches that you could. I want to see them run this eventually back again one
Did
day.
you have a problem with them cleaning up the blood during the picture in picture? Because a lot of people complained about that.
I didn't really care for it, so it's like to me
I
it
think
was
Raul
it.
looked like a badass. I wish they would have kept it.
Yeah, I mean I didn't care for it, but they're trying to do it for PG reasons. So
I understand, but do you remember that cruiserweight classic match, Raul versus Brian Kendrick, or Kendrick, when Raul had the braces and he put his face on the ropes, just kicked the ropes,
yeah,
and it busted Raul up pretty bad. Yeah, I thought that looked. Raul looks like a badass when he's bleeding, and people are sleeping on his mic work. That dude is pretty decent on the mic.
no, and he's gotten Joaquin, uh, Angel Garza, and Umberto have gotten ripped in the past 6 months. So they're looking great, and I want to see. I want to see. I want to see um, the Grizzled Young Veterans the Grizzled Young Veterans come after Thatcher. I want to see that match because that interference from with them was building to that story.
Another thing I wanted to touch on the opening match between Tony Storm and Joey Stark. I thought
Boy,
Tony's new finisher was fire, and what
that new that DDT that
yeah,
I don't
they called it the
man
Ruby Cutter. The Ruby Cutter is what you're calling it.
boy it looked like
A
if she
botch.
wouldn't have it looked like a botch, but it looked really good. And that's what sold it because the way she picked her up did the little turn and just hit that DDT was just like it was nasty. I'll
And then
admit.
after this match, Frankie came out. So I think Frankie and Tony is going to be where they're going,
I want to
which
see
is
that.
weird. It's heel versus heel though.
Is Frankie Moneta heel?
See, he's not a thing. You don't just cut off a wrestling moment like that.
That's a good
and your dog pooped in Shotzi and Amber's tank, which I thought was a face move, but some people thought it was a heel move. Then you got a horrible promo from Shotzi and Amber, which we'll skip over. What I told the people in our group chat is this was the most pure, just reminded me of wrestling. You had a good women's match, you had a job out women's match, you had a faction squash, you had a great tag team match, you had a great main event, you had a good opener. Like, it's a well-written show.
Yeah, I agree. It's I like the presentation that they're doing for I keep forgetting.
Sheree?
For Sheree and Hit Row too. Hit Row is the way that the Top Dollar looks. He looks like a monster, and then just Ashante is that little cherry on top, and then having Brandy and Swerve just there as the mouthpiece right now. I want to see more of Brandy because I want to see how good she is in the ring. So I want to see if Leon Ruff comes back with a team of his own to try to get them. Because remember, they took out Leon Ruff.
Who would you put in Leon Ruff's team?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Him and Arya Daivari gonna run after him?
I don't know. But I'm interested to see if Leon Ruff is going to try to get his revenge.
You know what I would do? This is me throwing something crazy out there. You do Leon Ruff, Bronson Reed, because they have that kind of backstory where Bronson picked him up and took him out, right? You do those two, and then you add whichever face tag team just floating around.
Killian Dane and Drake Maverick.
Yeah, because I guess their Imperium stuff's over, right?
Yeah.
Because Alexander Wolf.
Well, they kicked out Alexander Wolf, and then the next day he got released. What about the female, though?
They wrote him off TV.
They wrote him off TV. But what about the female, though? Who would you put as a female?
It's gonna be Joey Stark because Brandy's not gonna lose her first match, and Joey Stark's there to eat the pinfalls, which is really pissing me off because Stark is really good.
Let's talk about this because I like this. This whole thing with Cameron Grimes and Ted DiBiase is funny as hell. Yeah. I am enjoying this, especially how Ted DiBiase cost Cameron Grimes the match against Jake Atlas, and then as he went out and he's like, "Everybody's got a price." So it's.
I love Cameron Grimes' entrance music too.
Yeah, it's
the
awesome.
Little hillbilly rap they have. I think it's awesome. Anything else we want to touch on? Oh, let's dive into the main event then. Yes,
main event. Yeah. So I thought this made both guys look like $1 million. Bronson Reed taking out Austin Theory from the top, doing the splash on Gargano, and then doing another splash to get the pinfall was a nice ending. I think it was time to put a title on Bronson Reed because you built him up for so long to now get him the title. I think it's a great thing that they did.
And it gives Gargano, yeah, they can easily go after the tag titles.
Either that, or they can put Gargano in the main event picture against Cross. Because remember, Gargano is a former NXT champion.
That would be fun too. Yes, you could have a little mini feud with Gargano and Pete Dunne, where the winner faces Cross. Yeah,
and then here's the icing on the cake. You know how Cross has Scarlett. You can have Candice LeRae be on Gargano's corner, and then some stuff takes off. Right
and then you add Dexter and Indy.
That is going to end up on splitting up the way.
I don't want them to split the way up yet, though. I want to keep them together.
No, this is gonna last a while because while they were getting their massage, they figured out that all those flowers that were sent to them were by Candace, not
Not by
that sent
Dexter.
Shotzi. Yeah, the Dexter. So I think it's gonna lead up to something, and I think the payoff is gonna be kind of like that Mandy Rose and Otis situation in a sense.
Are you gonna buy an Index T-shirt? No, you're not a fan of it.
I like it, but I'm not gonna buy an Index T-shirt.
Maybe when it's on clearance.
Maybe.
All right. No, I thought the main
Um,
event was cool. I loved the two splashes that Gargano got hit with. I like Theory's involvement. A lot of people crapped on it. They're like, "What's the point of a cage match?" And I thought it was fine. Theory was being Theory, so I didn't
I
mind it.
I think Theory added that element to make Bronson Reed fight for it even more. So it added that element that, oh yeah, I know that this is going on, but at the same time, every time that Bronson fought off Austin Theory, it made you even more excited, in my opinion.
Yes, definitely. Let's see. Anything else? Aaliyah looks like $1 million. I hope she gets better in the ring. Anything else we want to talk about?
No, I think that's it. I think we could go dive into AEW.
Do you think Bronson Reed's first feud is going to be Swerve, or do you think it's going to be someone else while they build up Hit Row a little more?
I think they're going to build up Hit Row a little bit more, and then they're going to give him somebody like. I think they'll probably put Theory first, and then go from there.
Okay, you hear me out. This is me fantasy booking because you know I fantasy book great feuds. They should do one where Austin Theory is listening to rap music in the back, and Johnny Gargano walks in on him, and he's like, "What are you listening to?" And he's like, "Oh, Johnny, I'm listening to this new Hit Row record." And then Johnny be like, "We can't be listening to music like that. It corrupts you." And you can just, walk the fine line. And I think it would be great. I want to see the way in Hit Row Records.
I mean that would be great, but and it would be a comedic aspect too, because Austin Theory has done great doing those backstage segments, especially with the one with Scarlett. That was one of my favorite segments that he's done in a while. So, let's get into AEW results. I thought this week's AEW was kind of straightforward. I don't see
without being the go home show.
Go home show without being a go home show. I don't know. I'm still not sold on Christian Cage.
Bro, one of my friends texted me yesterday. He's like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "I'm watching AEW." He's a casual WWE fan, so he's like, "Oh, cool. What match is opening the show?" Because he texted me right when AEW started, and I'm like, Christian and Matt Sydal, and he's like, "So you're watching Raw 2009?"
Basically,
I can't argue it though, right?
Yeah, but I feel bad for Sydal. Like, come on, this man had
nothing with this dude. Yes,
and he's pretty. He's pretty seasoned. He knows what he's doing. I like it. It's just I don't know.
I kind of wish he would have stayed in Impact. Like, I know he's probably getting paid more at AEW, but I thought he was really good in Impact.
Yeah, I agree. Afterwards, I did enjoy the little thing with Team Taz and him, and Christian Cage, and then Adam Page trying to save him, and then getting taken out by Brian Cage. I thought that added a nice little element of surprise.
I'm looking forward to that match.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that match.
While we go over these matches, let's talk about the effect it's gonna have on the pay-per-view. So, like, we talked about the Christian match, right? So the Battle Royal. Did you think of anyone who do you have winning this Battle Royal? Because the whole card announced, we might as well just go through it. Next week we can cut AEW off because it's gonna be on a Friday night regardless. So let's just go through. Who winning this Battle Royal?
I honestly, I think it's gonna be Christian. As much as I hate, as much as I don't hate to say it, but as much as I want to say somebody else is going to win, I don't
You
see
want a
anybody
nice,
winning.
you want a nice young star to be made here, right?
Yeah, but we know that's not going to happen.
No, it is going to happen, bro. Because you know who's going to win this?
Who?
The Big Show. Paul White is going to win this.
The Big Show is actually going to compete?
I think Paul White's going to win this because there's no names out there that are big that they can pull in. Daga's not a big enough name, and I don't think they're going to put Tessa with the intergender stuff right away. I think Big Show is going to.
So think about who's going to be on it. I have a list of the people that are going to be on it. Christian Cage, Matt Sydal, Hobbs, Spenta, Jungle Boy, Matt Hardy, Mark Queen, Isaiah Cassidy, The Blade, Evo Uno, Cole Cabana, Preston Vance, Griff Garrison, Brian Pillman Jr., Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, QT Marshall, Nick Camarado, Dustin Rhodes, and Lee Johnson. And TBA.
Big Show.
Do we really? Okay. I'll
Is that not AEW booking for you? Is that not AEW booking? Like, I don't want it to happen. If I'm fantasy booking, I have Caster win. And you do a heel versus heel thing with Omega, because he will rip Omega a new asshole on the microphone, and Omega needs a dose of reality right now with how his character is. So I have Caster win and cut a promo on the dude. That's
but here's the thing.
Yes, I know.
Here's the thing.
Yes.
Well, no, I understand that. But here's the thing. What if Christian Cage wins it? Because they are eventually trying to build
Christian is going to win it. That's what I'm saying. Christian is going to win it. I don't want Christian to win it because I would like it to be more natural. So I'm saying if we're running the company and we want someone to be made on this pay-per-view, I think Caster is the one I'd go with.
Yeah.
Is there someone you see on there that you would be like, if I'm running a company, this is who I'd give a shot to? Because they're not going to win. Omega's not losing that title to anyone but Hangman.
Yeah, either that or they'll find a way to get Kota Ibushi out here.
He's not losing it to anyone in the company unless it's Hangman. Better?
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah, there you go.
So who would you have win? Wait, you booked this match. Who do you have win it? Basically, what you have in mind right now in the back of your head is you need a young guy and you need someone who's going to have a good 20-minute match with Omega where if they lose, they're not hurt, they're made. That's why I said I go with Max Caster, because you can turn the tag team face after it.
I used to say Jungle Boy or Penta.
Okay. I like both of those. I like both those picks, but we've gotten both those matches already.
Yeah, but either that or you put Cole Cabana.
I would love that. I would love Cole Cabana, yes. But
Cole Cabana seems like a good option too to try to build the Dark Order again.
I think you don't like where they're heading with the Dark Order?
I like it. I'm not gonna lie, but it helps elevate them a little bit more.
I think AEW is going to have one of their, I think the first match of Rampage, the main event, because I don't think Rampage is going to be an A show or a B show. I think it's going to be a secondary show. I think the main event for the first Rampage is going to be Darby Allin, Sting, and 3 members of the Dark Order, Hangman and 2 members of the Dark Order, versus Team Taz and Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. That's going to be the main event of Rampage. The first episode.
I can see that happening.
Because they're going to keep stinging these tag team matches.
I'm be honest with you, I'm tired of that.
So you want to wrestle?
No. I mean the tag team matches. I'm tired of these 5-on-5, 6-on-5, 6-on-6, 8, 7-on-7s. It's getting.
We'll talk to Justin about this because I do want to talk about this to Justin.
Yeah,
he's going to be on our show Tuesday, which Elijah's going to send y'all posters of.
All right, cool. So here's one thing I think that AEW is doing right. They're taking the dark side of the ring with Brian Pillman and they're doing a great job at building Brian Pillman Jr. I think that's one of the things that we low key are excited because I think that Pillman has a lot of potential, especially him and Griff Garrison
Griff
with the
Garrison
varsity
looks so
blonde.
much like a young Chris Jericho. Yeah.
So I think they're doing a great job at building younger talent now. Yes, the older veterans are getting a little bit more spotlight, but I think that the younger guys are starting to make their names known. And Griff Garrett and Brian Pillman Jr. was one of them with that promo he cut backstage. Um, Also, as we're talking about it, I enjoyed the segment where Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page were out there talking to Tony Schiavone, and then Sting and them come back out and take them out, which or try to attack them in a sense.
Yeah.
And it helped build up to the match. I hate that they're putting them together in a tag team. I wish that they gave them solo because Ethan Page left Impact to get away from the tag team scene, and now that he's back in a tag team, which is kind of like meh. And then they let Scorpio Sky roll around by himself, and then they put him back in a tag team.
Yeah.
So I want to see when this breaks down, when Scorpio or Ethan when they turn on each other, because I think that's going to bring up a pretty good match itself. Moxley and Eddie Kingston versus the Acclaimed.
This was what we thought it was going to be. I love the rap.
Yeah, I like the rap. I thought that the rap would make the point and actually add a little bit more drama to the match, which was good.
And I think Bauer is really underrated, dude. Like the whole, we just want to be on the pod. Like he's got very good comic timing where he cuts off the rapper from saying the hardcore punchline because they are on TV, right? I really like that. Yeah. I think they're a good fit. I would like to see them turn face.
I would like to see that too. I think giving them a face win would be a pretty good thing to do to get them to come out a little bit more, and those raps would actually add to would add a little bit more to it. Let me see the backstage segment with we'll skip that. Are you ready for the Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle and the Stadium Stampede match? Because that's what we're gonna see, right? I think that's
what we're gonna see, but I still think someone's gonna fill in for Jericho.
I don't know. I think this is a very important match for Jericho. I think he's gonna be part of this match. I don't think he'll have somebody.
So you think the elbow injury is fake?
I think it's real, but I think either that or he's doing a hell of a job selling it.
Okay, so let's talk about this Jericho promo before we get into this. I loved it until the end where he's like, when I fell, I feared for my life, and I was an inch away from dying. I was like, bruh, stop.
Yeah, I don't know.
I really wish Matt was on here because I want to see what Matt's reaction to that promo would have been. But no, I feel like Matt would have said the same thing. I feel like, bruh, it happened. Let's just get over it. We don't want the fans to remember. But yeah. The match is going to be good. But
yeah,
I don't care for it. Like, I think the Inner Circle is winning. It's pretty clear.
Here's the thing. If the Pinnacle loses this one, it doesn't do anything to them. It really doesn't, because it's still going to lead to another match between Jericho and MJF, which this time that will write off Jericho for some time. I think it's going to lead to that, and something's going to happen for Jericho to get written off of TV for a while. I think it's also going to end up leading to a Sammy Guevara versus MJF or something in that capacity. I do want to see what they do. It's a 50-50 booking on this one. You don't know who's gonna win. Um, it kind of is like if the Pinnacle wins, are we ready to see the Inner Circle break up, or if what's gonna happen to the Inner Circle if they break up? Because you gotta think about it. Moxley is about to go off on to spend time with his new kid whenever it's born, when the baby's born.
I think Moxley's winning the tag titles.
Do you think they're actually going to win?
Yeah, I was holding off until the main event to ask you your prediction. I think they win the tag titles. But you can't have them take another pinfall.
I agree. They can't lose a match. But are they really going to take the momentum away from the Young Bucks? Because they're pretty hot right now.
But you can get the Young Bucks to win the titles from Finn Juice.
I think they're trying to end that relationship with Impact.
Someone has to win the Impact title back, Elias.
Moose is going to win the Impact title back.
So the relationship's not over.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They're trying to find that one person that's going to end that. Like the person that's going to win the title back and end that relationship.
I guess, but no, I think Moxley and Kingston are winning the titles.
I can see that. Let's talk about one match that I really did like, which I think was underrated a little bit. But it was the NWA World Women's Championship match, Serena D versus Red Velvet.
Dude, all right. I like Matt. I like Matt a lot. And I've been telling Matt, I'm like, bruh, Jade and Red Velvet are two to look out for. And every time Matt came on, you're, too many botches in the match. Oh, I don't like how Jade walks out. I don't like how Red Velvet stirs the pot. No, bro. This is marketing. And Red Velvet looked like $1 million in this match.
Yeah, but you also got to think about who she's working with.
I thought you looked like $1 million against Cargill.
That one is debatable. If Red Velvet is more experienced than Cargill, so yes, that's why she looked more refined. I'll agree with you on that one. That's why Red Velvet looked more defined than Cargill. But as far as
Serena than Cargill, Serena is more than both of them.
Yeah, and look, Serena made Red Velvet look like $1 million too.
No, because Serena wasn't the one selling the leg injury. So I'm going to disagree. Because I thought the story of this match was the leg, Red Velvet's leg. Would you agree? So Red Velvet was the one selling it. I thought Serena made it look badass at the end when she slammed it like 50 times and then hooked it back on. But I think aside from that, I think Red Velvet held her own here.
No, I agree. I'm not.
And we're not crapping. We're not crapping on either of these women. Both of these women are phenomenal in our books. But
no, they're awesome.
Yeah.
Either way,
I'm crapping on Matt's mindset of Red Velvet because I know Matt's not here to answer me.
He'll watch this. I'll tell him to watch 40 minutes to watch your rant.
Yeah, Matt doesn't understand good women's wrestling. Because here's the thing. I'm going on a rant. Sorry. I'm going on a rant. We have a lot of time. We only have a little bit of show left. I'm going to go on a rant. Matt's over here talking about, I love women's wrestling. And, he's like, man, I love Charlotte. I love Sasha. They're role models to my daughter. But he doesn't watch NXT, which has the best women's wrestling. So that already invalidates his argument. Then he doesn't think Red Velvet is good, which I think Red Velvet is phenomenal. And, he's probably going to say this match was a 2 out of 5. But, yes, I'm just saying, Elias knows, we are all about this. So we talk about this, and we go on our rants occasionally. And I know Elias agrees with every word I just said. So let's go to the next match.
I wanted to talk about the Austin Gunn versus
Oh
and
God!
Go.
You want me to go back to ranting? All right. This was Rocky 4 or Rocky 3, whichever one Apollo gets beat up.
Wait. All right. So here's the funny part about this. So remember when Brock Lesnar made Seth Rollins bleed from the mouth, right? Or who made Seth Rollins bleed from the mouth?
No, you're thinking Bray Wyatt?
No, no, it was Seth Rollins bleeding from the mouth after getting his ankle side whooped by Brock Lesnar.
No, I think you're thinking of Brock doing that to Randy. When he
It was Randy
at SummerSlam when he just busted Randy open, right?
No. When I saw this on Twitter this morning. It was stuff that he said. It was something that was said about. Or anyways, it had somebody bleeding from the mouth it had somebody bleeding from the mouth whatchamacallit did like Austin Gunn did. So they crapped on it like the wrestling media crapped on it, said that was too much blood, too much stuff, that it was too much for them. And then all of a sudden this happens with Anthony Ogogo and Austin Gunn, and oh my God, people are loving this. They're like falling for this. Like
I'm on the opposite. I saw a lot of people crapping on this.
Well, I see all the AEW people I saw talking about it was more on the opposite side of it.
So here's what I will say about this, Elias. A lot of AEW fans have this like inside joke, which I've noticed on like 3 or 4 podcasts now. A lot of AEW fans have this inside joke to where they praise everything Cody does, but they are really like crapping on it.
Yeah.
Because Cody's apparently like very disliked in the community from what I'm reading.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Let's talk about it. So Austin Gunn started bleeding and the referee stopped the match. Austin said no, don't stop the match, took another hit to the face in the gut and basically quote unquote died. Then Cody comes in the ring and Ogogo throws the US flag. Cody catches it. Yeah. And they're gonna weigh in next week.
Yeah. Anyways, and you know what's funny, because it's on a Twitter page called Meltzer Said What. It said, it should be noted that 4 days after my man said this, he produced a bloody angle involving Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar that was a blood and guts as possible. Not a simple blade job or facial blood like you would see. Literally anything, any night watching a combat sport like MMA or boxing, but a beating with Seth Rollins coughing up blood and a portrayal of internal bleeding, which is the ultimate in blood and guts. Whether this, that basically happened. So they you have you shown the bias of the media nowadays when somebody else does it and now AEW does it, and it's just like
yeah, Meltzer's a joke. We get it, Elias. You want to go on a rant about Meltzer? Because I want to listen to one.
I got tired of ranting about him. It's like I'll put it like this, and this is my rant. And I've said this before to the wrestling reporters, new dirt sheet guys. I'm not a reporter. I'm a podcast guy. I report what I feel. We report the recap results of what happens on wrestling. But please, if you're going to report something, Lance Storm has called out Brian Alvarez a million times about this. Stop letting your preference on wrestling get the best of you. If you're going to report stuff, report it from a non-biased approach. Because the more you try to set this WWE versus AEW war, it's going to destroy wrestling. Because then you out there crapping on other companies, but yet again, you're letting all this shit that AEW does pass. It's the honeymoon period with AEW's over. Let's hold them responsible for the shit they do. Ran over. Anyways, yeah,
Okay.
but going back to AEW, I thought that was a interesting segment.
Who's winning the match?
I hate it, but I think that Cody's gonna win this one. Would you really have the American Dream lose a match against a UK person?
I agree. I feel like he should take. I feel like if he takes the loss and comes back and wins, it's going to make both of them bigger. But yes, I agree. I feel like Cody wins.
One match
right.
that I am excited. One match that I am excited for: Hikaru Shida versus Britt Baker.
Oh,
I think that
DMD.
DMD.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is one of the ones that is going to build that has been built correctly, using Hikaru Shida and then using Britt Baker's heel moves tactics has to not to take her out and then curve stomps her in front on top of the title belt. I think it was a great way to build this match, and I think this match is going to be probably one of the best matches that is going to happen at Double or Nothing.
Yes, and I think Britt Baker is going to win.
Yeah, I it's most definitely a Britt Baker winning this one. Is there anything else that we missing?
The main event, yes.
Yes. Miro setting up the match versus Miro and
Dude, yes. Sorry, I forgot about this. When he says, "I'm going to hurt you so bad that no yoga will save your life," yes. And then when he comes out and says, "I thank Jesus Christ for giving me all this talent," and when he says, "Your song says everyone's going to die, my preference is you die first," Miro was awesome here.
I really like the way they're letting Miro be Miro. This is something that I wish WWE did when he was Rusev. Right? But I hate that they're putting him against Lance Archer this quickly because I would have loved for this to build again.
Murder Hawk's going to win.
Build. Is he? Are they really going to take the championship away from Miro this quickly?
Kip Sabian's going to cost him the match.
Kip Sabian's out on injury.
He's out on honeymoon. He's not out on injury.
No, he's out on injury. He actually got surgery on his elbow or shoulder.
Oh, did he? Okay, well then I lied. Miro's going to win. That's stupid because I don't want Murder Hawk to take an hour.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, this match is great, but do you really want to put it this quickly? Like, give him somebody else. Give him somebody from Dark Order. Give him somebody from somebody else to build up to Lance Archer. Don't just give him Lance Archer right then and there.
You could have gave him Kazarian. Yeah, there's many ways you could have gone with it.
Yeah.
Anyways, how do you feel about Kazarian's Elite Hunter promo? Apparently it's a rehash from a New Japan storyline.
I need to watch the promo again.
Someone got screwed, so they're going after every member one by one, is what he said. So he's like, you screwed me over, now I'm going to take all of you out one by one. I'm the Elite Hunter, or some shit like that.
I think it's good. I want to see what Frankie Kazarian does by himself. But I need to rewatch that promo. I didn't really keep up.
You skipped over it. Let's go to the main event.
Yeah, I skipped over it.
Good match.
I think that this made Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman look good. But I also think that it's one of those things that it's just a throwaway match in a sense.
I like the after the match of this, yes, where they stole the shoes.
Yeah. Yes, that I think that was the key moment to this match where it built up to the tag team championship match between Moxley, Kingston, and the Young Bucks. the match itself was pretty decent. I'm not gonna crap on it because I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed seeing people like the Varsity Blondes get a chance because it spotlights them and it elevates them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So they were the number 3 ranked tag team in there. So yeah, that was. I think it was one of those things that.
Oh, we got a comment on Twitch, bro. We got a comment on Twitch. You want to read it out loud?
No, I don't.
Want to be famous? Question mark. Buy followers and viewers on HTTPS. All right. That was more entertaining than the Young Bucks have been.
I agree with that one. Anyways,
they just look old. They just look old.
It looks, this heel turn feels like it's not generic. It feels forced. It's like, in order for us to get viewers and to get more merch, so let's go back to our heel ways, even though
I don't think that's what it is. I think they're okay on the merch sales. I think it's we want to be cool. You know, that's what I think it is. And that's what I think it is with Cody, too. I think they're all in that mindset that we want to be cool.
I think Cody is on a different thing, though. He's like, you could tell. Okay, so let's put it out there. There is rumors that there is beef or tensions between the executives. They're trying fighting. So I feel like they're just trying to outdo each other in a sense. That's how it comes off as. So Young Bucks went heel. Cody goes with this American Dream stuff, and Kenny Omega is just doing Kenny Omega. So I don't know. We'll see. All right, before we get off the show, let's go through Double or Nothing lineup and let's see who's gonna win. Let's make predictions. Sting, Darby Allin versus Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page.
Sting.
All right, Sting and Allin. I agree. Cody Rhodes versus Anthony Ogogo.
Cody.
Okay, I'll go Ogogo just to be the difference. I want to see Ogogo win.
I want to see Ogogo win, but I don't think he will. But yeah.
Stadium Stampede, the Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle.
Inner Circle.
I agree. Brian Cage versus Adam Page.
Adam.
I agree, Adam, and I think that's going to lead to Team Taz tensions building up more and then breaking up. Casino Battle Royale.
Big Show.
I say Christian Cage.
God.
Yeah. Okay. Not what we want, but it's one or the other. Hikaru Shida versus Britt Baker. I think we both agree Britt Baker will win this one.
Yes.
The Young Bucks versus John Moxley and Eddie Kingston.
Kingston Moxley.
Okay.
You disagree there, right?
Yeah, I'll say Young Bucks retain on some shenanigans.
Okay.
Miro versus Lance Archer. I
double count out.
I'll stick with that one because I don't want either one to lose because it makes it destroys the build-ups that these guys have been given. All right, here's the one. Kenny Omega versus Orange Cassidy versus Pac.
Kenny.
I agree, but hear me out. Both Moose and Andrade come out and beat the crap out of Kenny Omega, unless something happens today on Impact that changes that. But I think Andrade will come and try to build the match for Triple Mania.
I agree. I think both of them will be there too. All right, guys. 1 hour, pretty good timing. Anything else you want to talk about, Elias?
No. Before we leave, always remember that the Bam Bam Malone interview is on our official YouTube and Facebook and Twitch, and all 3 sites. It's available.
And
Tuesday we will be having Justin Dezend on the show. Talk a little wrestling with him. Talk a little bit more about work about his past, and then talk about wrestling in general. His thoughts on how the current wrestling world is today, and talk about a little bit old school NWA. Talk about a little bit over there. Justin is a great knowledge base for wrestling. Has he on his own promotion as well. So join us Tuesday at around 7:30.
Yeah, 7:30 is probably what we'll do. I get off work at 7. Yes.
Yeah, so 7:30. Join us next Tuesday for that interview. It's also going to be available on for replay on our official YouTube and our official Twitch channels. So also make sure you subscribe to our channel on Rico Wrestling Heat on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. And we'll come up with some more content as we go. As always, follow me. I am Serrato, and Moise. Follow him on his Instagram handles, MoiseH91. And as always, enjoy your weekend. Happy pre Friday. As always, from me and the rest of the weekly wrestling heat crew, we are out. Peace.
Peace.